At the University of Southampton, we're passionate about music. Tom's passion is composition.
I'm having a bit of fun with this one. I'm using my standard approaches, which are taking popular music materials, but organising them in more of a contemporary classical way. The way that ideas are presented in the short scale is what really excites me the moment I get to work.
Play that pretty bit.
Tom is preparing to play in a university symphony orchestra performance of Petrushka, and like all students at Southampton, he benefits from world-class coaching from acclaimed practitioners.
That's probably not quite as quick as that, is it?
A number of times you hear piano soloists getting to the last chord of a concerto before the orchestra does, because it's so keen and because our instruments are so quick and all that, whereas the conductor is perhaps doing that. So one of the first things I talk to Tom about is, does the orchestra play on the conductor's beat? Or is it slightly behind? Because if it's slightly behind, then Tom's got to work out how slightly behind.
I'm not particularly experienced playing with orchestras, but I'm not nervous. It's just going to be so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Samantha is studying Jane Austen's music collection.
There are 16 books altogether. Oh gosh, you're probably talking thousands of pieces of music which I've read through.
She's supervised by Professor Janice Brooks.
What Samantha's doing is important not just for music history, but she's uncovering new evidence that gives fresh insights into the cultural life of the period. One of the things that we're working on together is a concert for this summer where some of this music is going to be heard in performance for the first time since the early 19th century.
I've been putting together the sort of keys and the composers and structures of the music to actually give an overview of different slants within the books, different ensemble pieces, solo pieces, pedagogical pieces, the show-stopping pieces. One of the wonderful things about music is it is like being able to decipher a code, and you open a piece of music and it's just another world. You're opening, it's the gateway to some other place.
Amy's passion is 13th century polyphony.
When you're listening to music, you don't really get a full understanding of it at all unless you can really understand its context. It's very revealing to get into that kind of medieval mind, and I think unless you have a full sense of context, when you can look at origin, transmission, how all these things happened, you don't really ever truly understand a piece.
They're plugging into all kinds of types of Latin text.
My student Amy is interested in music in England around 1300, and my job is to introduce her to all the surviving manuscript sources, and then also to get some kind of grip on what kind of culture produced this music, what kind of sources she might be able to look at to understand those sorts of cultures.
Very clever and very well done and very resourceful. I like that.
The structure I have in mind is one of forms: cosmological, worldly, and in the end personal.
Music at the University of Southampton is one of only 2 departments in the UK to get the highest possible ranking in both teaching and research. Visiting speaker, Professor Richard Leppert.
Music studies at Southampton are really impressive. It's one of a handful of departments in the UK that are very well known in the United States.
Francesca's paper on Kathy Barbarian and John Cage has been accepted by the American Musicological Society for their prestigious annual conference in Philadelphia.
They were 2 splendid characters, and they both were so energetic and enthusiastic, and they together, funding also their relationship on friendship, they were able to create this extraordinary piece. Out of 570 papers, they accepted only 140, and mine, who am a student, I was accepted.
Hussein has already tasted the fruits of success.
I was number 2 in the whole Asian chart for a couple of months. And that's exactly when I decided to leave Malaysia and come to the UK. And as I said, if I'm going to do this, I have to do it properly. Usually when you go to schools, they completely concentrate on composition. You don't get many good performers or even musicologists. The thing here is that we have a lot of composers And at the same time, there are lots of great performers here. Like Ruth, she's doing a master's in performance. She's absolutely brilliant. You just give her the score and she'll go. Sarah, the singer, she's really enthusiastic. She just nails it. And Mia as well, she's a very good player. She plays in these orchestras and actually manages a couple of orchestras. Right? I said bar 30. You have the players there at your service and you can change the notes and see what happens, and they're played for you. Yeah, and I've been blessed with that opportunity here.
What's the best thing about studying music at Southampton?
Definitely my tutor. The wealth of knowledge that he brings, and the breadth of knowledge and the openness to all sorts of ideas.
I've met some quite extraordinary people since I've been here, students and professors and teachers.
The academic staff here are absolutely fantastic. I've been able to go and sit in on history lectures, English lectures, and I've met lots of the different staff. They've been very, very encouraging.
They do keep track of my work, but at the same time I feel like I'm free to lead my research freely now, like to expand my my knowledge in the way and in the time that I want.
The best thing about studying here is that I feel really free as an artist to do whatever I want to.
Want to know more? Then go to www.southampton.ac.uk/music.